Wassail Beautiful People. So, I'm up a mountain and getting here was so hairy, my vertigo was so badly activated. I thought I was going to throw up in the car. And arriving here, it's a meditative retreat, and I've been allowed to come up to this very, very high balcony overlooking the most stupendously beautiful view, and in the far distance is the sea, and right now I'm feeling very much like Njorn, and Skadi's dragged me to a mountain retreat, and all I want is to be back down at ground level, sea level, rather than perched high in this eyrie. So it's full moon, but it's the first of two full moons in Aquarius, and in between the two is the new moon in Leo. So it's a very significant moment because it's the Lion's Gateway portal, and this first moon is taking place, it's on the 24th, in some places it's the 23rd, but it's the 24th at 2:37 GMT UTC. So we're just going to go in and ask what's going on with this moon. Oh look, separately though, just to say to everybody, thank you so much for all your kindness and generosity. With luck I'll be able to get off the sofa. It's just at the moment in the area I'm staying there are very few houses because everybody's being very greedy and they want tourists to turn up and pay thousands of pounds, and I'm not going to do that. So, but thank you all very much. I'm so very, very grateful to you for all your assistance. So, it's very windy up here. Could lose cards. I'm not going to go chasing them if they go. They'll just be gone. I've got bags and stones, and I'm just kind of shuffling low down in case, because there's a lot of wind up here. And look, I love wind. I'm an air sign. I got a lot of air. So, moon, can we have an opening message please from the moon? I just feel I feel like the elements are after my cards. Moon, I'm just gonna, just down here. You ever look at the view while I'm shuffling? You ever look at the thing that's really scaring the hell out of me? Oh, maybe that's the energy of the moon. Facing something that really frightens you. I can't say I'm doing it very well. Just vertigo comes over me, it never used to. So, there we go, we have a card. Oh, that's so strange. I held this card up just to check whether you could see in the light. It's not there, it's there. That's kind of there. Hagal, hail. It's also Hel, the goddess. I mean, look, I am seeing something terribly stormy, but this is two moons, two full moons, a stormy conclusion to Blue Lunar Storm year. You know, we've just gone through this energy frequency of Blue Lunar Storm. So let's maybe pull a Thoth. This is the tall Thoth deck. I've got the titchy Thoths in there as well, just in case. But there's something about this ending of endings. You know, it's the ending of a cosmic cycle. And it's an Aquarian moon, and we had the stellium in Aquarius when all the planets lined up under the influence of Saturn. I want to say, actually, because I've been feeling that energy of Njord, that this particular full moon, it's all being ruled by Neptune. Neptune's got the most aspects. It's just interesting. I can see this beautiful view in reflection. in front of me, behind the camera. And it's still making me feel sick. Right, what would you like to say about hail? Hell. It's Queen of Fire, Queen of Wands. I was going to say Pentacles then for some reason. So, I know really the cards are more important, but I just thought you'd all love the view. So, this is very much hell's energy, but it's hell holding down masculinity. There's a sense of streaming aether pouring in through the consciousness to, it's what I'm seeing is like physical molecules just not being carried away with themselves, but kind of being too energetic. And then there's this energy coming in to press down, to calm down the frequencies. So let's just get another Thoth. What else would you like to say about that, please? What else would you like to say about this suppressing of the molecules? It's almost like the molecules have been shaken and opened so much that they need... I'm being shown like grapes and fruits being pressed. It's like you crush the physical, but there's such beautiful rewards to come from the juices, the sweetness inside. There's something about, there's a sweetness inside us that just needs to be activated. It's the new beginning. It's the Fool card. I'm being drawn to new materials, material possessions, a new focus, something changing in our mindset in the coming. And look, the whole is difficult to see, but the whole of the back of this is the yellow seed. It's a yellow cosmic egg full of new potential. There's the symbols of Horus racing round with peace and transformation. But there's also an element, they're saying to me this is the renewed masculinity, the energy of our physical bodies becoming renewed in the coming year. But they're drawing me to the fact that on the top of the card here, there's like fire in his hand, but it's also kind of like harvesting the frequency of maturity, growing up. And they're showing grapes on here actually. Grapes, abundance of fruits coming down to almost hide the energy frequency of coinage. It's so warm sitting here. My bum's on fire. So, let's have... I've put together... well, I haven't, but I'm going to right now. I've put together Chemin de Levée, the evil pathways. It's not, it's the awakening pathways. With the Moonology, since we're on a moon. So let's have a little look at what we've got. Let's have a little look at what we've got. Full moon in Sagittarius energy, which is looking at the bigger picture. It's got the archery aspect, but there's some part of the bow, the understanding, it's talking about this being a whole period, look at the bigger picture between the two full moons. It's like there's something coming in towards us that we can't understand. So at the moment, this side of the bow, which is the July, is moon, full moon in Aquarius, and then the other side of the bow has yet to be defined. We have yet to draw and sculpt our journey forwards. So they're showing me Gar as a rune symbol, spear. Spear is interesting because spear is about, it's very much like a staff, but it's a staff with a blade, and it's a staff that's often used to obviously spear prey. So it's about having an absolute focus. I want to say that there's an energy of confusion coming, and that's what the hail is bringing. Really just a difficult month in many ways for everybody, because the shifts are huge. We've got so many planets in retrograde at the moment that it's causing all kinds of stresses on people. So the wind's just dropped, which is quite nice. But look, we're getting so interesting. This is like a message I've just been watching with Cindy. Sorry, Cindy, I'm going to steal your message slightly, but you know, so it's connections. There's been a failure of divine masculinity, emotional masculinity, raw masculinity. Oh, masculinity. It's failed to bring the harvest, and there's Saturn in Taurus. Every time I see Saturn in Taurus, it makes me think of a little bit of an exchange that's going on at the moment between Saturn and Gaia, Uranus, because both of those planets are happy when they're in rulership in Aquarius. And this is a full moon in Aquarius. And right now, Saturn is at home in Aquarius, whereas Gaia, Uranus, is not. She's sitting in Taurus, and her energy is going to go retrograde 2 days before the Echo full moon in Aquarius. And that's when things are really going to start to shake up as Virgo season starts. What's interesting about this, I always see this Queen of Wands as scalding masculinity, holds raw masculinity down, and it's just this message that there's been a failure. There's been a failure. But that's good, because when you recognize something, you can do something about it. It's when you don't recognize something that you can't do anything about it. Look at the bigger picture. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that masculinity fails. It doesn't matter that what comes next succeeds. The point is to just move forwards with the journey and see what comes. To trust that the cosmos knows what's going on. The spirit has a plan. So, any more messages about this? There's some cards have turned and they won't be shown. It's one. Oh, you see, that's really interesting. I was going to say it doesn't want to be found. It's a new moon in Aquarius. Bring love into the situation. They're saying to me, it's not so much a new moon in Aquarius, it's the new moon between these two Aquarius moons, which is the 8-8 Lions Gateway portal. Bring love into the situation. Bring love, but not in the way you think. Bring purity of mind. Bring purity of consciousness. Bring purity of understanding. But also bring the energy of reconciliation, and do not bring the energy of blame. It really doesn't matter what has happened. It's learning to not do again what has happened and moving to a new frequency as we go forwards. So let's go back to Odin. Oh, my bum's on fire. So, Geffen. Are the ladies. It's the energy of she who is wronged. There's absolute defiance. All of them are asleep, but spirit has awoken. Geffen has awoken. And there's a sense of feminine tribalism. And that's in all of us. You know, it's our consciousness. It's that energy of divine love. It's the warp and weft of the tapestry the norns weave. This isn't suddenly about just a pile of women marching in and taking over everything. Although I often think that would be fun. I have this little fantasy, which I'm sure I've told you before, where a load of ladies just suddenly say to all the global leaders that are male, do you know what, it was a nice try, but it's not really worked out, so why don't you all go home, sit down, play with your kids if you've got them, maybe do a bit of gardening, we're not letting you have your car because you drive too fast, all that kind of frequency. We're just gonna sort everything out. But that's a fantasy. It doesn't have to happen in that way. It has to happen in a way in which we all work together with our divine feminine consciousness in this newly squeezed, newly packaged version of our divine masculine molecules. So, I'd like another Odin to go with Geffen, please. Can we have another Odin to go with Geffen? Can we have another Odin to go with Geffen? Air. It's healing energy. The truth will heal. Love will heal. You know, it's a bit of a hackneyed message, but it's the message that's there. Spirit is trying to wake us up to an energy of healing, an energy that's restorative, convalescence. Time to rest, time to recover. You know, it's been a roller coaster ride for the last few thousand years, and now it's time to just, you know, this. I know it's freaking the hell out of me, but seeing the bigger picture all around, you can no longer see the details and traumas of everybody's lives, and so what you see is the splendor of the natural world. And that's almost what we have to start doing. See the splendor of the natural world with our own eyes. See the truth of the world around us. So, evil pathways. This full moon. Mea culpa, I'm sorry. Look, there is a sense of accepting our role, everybody's role in this. We've all participated in this. You know, I've got a lovely blue t-shirt on, and I had it printed with an image that I wanted, and I paid money to have that done. But maybe the people that wove this cotton, maybe the people that stitched this t-shirt live really shit lives. And yeah, I'm so excited with my new blue t-shirt. They may not have had a new t-shirt for so long. They may never have new things. And that's wrong too. And so maybe this moon is about us all looking inside ourselves before the beginning of this yellow electric seed year and accepting responsibility for our own errors. Look, I'm not saying I could have woven my own t-shirts, it's just not doable. And I'm not saying that there's necessarily ethical solutions, because most ethical solutions are falsehoods created by corporations who just want to continue selling products to you, where you've become socially aware that there's something not quite right about the whole process. But we really do have to make a difference now. We have to, in this yellow electric seed year, we have to want and desire to reach out to an entire world and just give everybody a chance, give everybody fairness, give everybody a life. And maybe our lives have to be a little harder, and maybe our lives, maybe we have to do a little more. Maybe some of us have to, you know, clean our own homes. Well, I mean, I do anyway. But I used to run a cleaning company, and I always feel very strongly that cleaners and these people that do these jobs that you don't want to do need to be rewarded better. You know, there's a lot of people out there that do a lot of really hard work to make other people's lives easier. So that's what I'm getting. We need to, I'm not saying you need to go to someone and say, look, I'm sorry that you've had a shit life, and it's my fault. That's not the point. It's be aware of your own privileges. Be aware of what you have that others don't, and program the desire into your yellow electric seed for the coming year for that to change globally for everybody, because it is only fair. It's an Aquarian full moon, and Aquarius is the energy of the collective. So what else would you like to say, Aquarius moon? Aquarius moon. Oh, the backs of my feet are burning now. So we have a little spillage. Begins with the Prince of Discs. I know, difficult to see. This is slow moving Taurian fixed earth energy. It's like a piece of machinery that just, you know, even the bull can't seem to move it. It's like, it's almost, look, he's holding the bull straps on his arm, and there's no way that if that bull moved forward, it wouldn't pull him out of the entire thing. But he's sitting, it's like everything's a falsehood. Everything's false about this energy. Grasshopper's starting to sing now. Yeah, look, we're really getting messages of a change in our frequencies, in our molecules. We now have the Lust card, which is the raw masculine beast that sort of, it's interesting. There's an energy of the Chariot. There's an energy of the Chariot here in the Prince of Discs, but there's something about like putting some Bonjela on an ulcer, soothing the pains, soothing the fires. And then we have Moon in Aquarius. We have the 7. It's time to exit the old energy with the 7 of Swords. We're being drawn to Mars and Jupiter. Now, let me just check, because there's some very odd aspects with this moon. So Jupiter is not happy with Mars and Venus. So there's a very uncomfortable energy there. And then also we have the energy that the Sun's really uncomfortable with the Moon and Pluto. I'm glad they reminded me just to bring that in. So this is a very uncomfortable Hagal, hell kind of energy. And it's saying we have to work to create this exit. And what's the exit leading to? Well, it's leading to a cosmic gift. It's leading to a new start, a new frequency, something totally fresh, and something cosmically intended for the whole world. So let's just have a couple more cards. Yeah, look, Frigg and Jira. It's a destiny that's leading to a wonderful social, communal harvest. They're showing me something and I can't actually understand what it is they're trying to show me. It's to do with the maze that's opening up, but it's more like a whole series of mouths opening. It's talking about coming into a new energy of greater balance between the masculine and the feminine in the coming yellow electric seed year. This really is a moon of letting go, of squashing our molecules down, controlling kind of rising furies and angers, because Mars is not a happy bunny at the moment. Mars is on fire. Mars is racing around towards Pluto. And Venus overtook. Remember in the video I did about the dance between Mercury, Mars and Venus, and that was really important frequencies to understand how they affect us personally. So there is a sense of frustrations rising, particularly within our molecules and not within our consciousness. The difficulty in our consciousness is going to come in Virgo season. It's almost like the second Aquarian moon, full moon, is when we cut off the energy of what was the old force of feminine frequency. That's interesting. So there we're doing masculine now, feminine later, and between that difficult period is this period of adjustment of the ego. We're all being ego adjusted. So we get there in the end. So would you like to add something, please, about what's just been said? Yeah, 14, La Confiance. This is to do with stop questioning all the things in the past, because holding on to the things of the past is blocking the future energy. The more you hang on to between these two new moons, these two full moons, the more uncomfortable your energy is going to be. You have to turn your back on it. I've never noticed before, but there's a tiny hummingbird on his shoulder. Never seen that. Maybe it's new. There's a tiny hummingbird sitting there, and the hummingbird is not looking at him, but is looking towards the future. And the hummingbird is saying, let go of the past. Let go of the things that bother you. Let go of the need for retributions, because they're just blockages. Universal law works completely differently to our version of social laws that we've created. And our laws are really dense. Because we live in a linear world, look, cosmic law goes through a whole series of cycles, and then you die, and then you go to face your judgment. But it doesn't work like that when you get there. So what do we have here? So we have La Distance, 22. So it's reaching a point. There's a finger point. We've got just one Pisces, not both fish, but one. it's really interesting. They're saying to me, it's like the sign of Cancer. I know we're not in Cancer, but they're showing me the sign of Cancer and saying there's just one half of the home, the inner sacred home, and there's a long distance to go to reach the other destination. I'm being shown 2 stars, 2 suns. You reach for one sun, which travels around the earth, and then the other is Sirius. It's got something to do with Sirius that's now risen in the northern hemisphere over the pyramids, and that's part of the symbolism of the cosmic new year. So emotions will be running high, supermoon. It's going to be an emotional moon because it's going to squeeze us all. You know, I keep saying that the thing about Leo and the ego, the last few cycles of the moon being in Leo at any point has been really tense energy. And I don't think it improves until the Lion's Gateway portal when there's an adjustment. I don't know, I haven't tried the cards for that yet, but it's a sense that I get. And then we've got communication is key. It's a new moon in Gemini. But it's a kind of, the idea is awakening, an old ego, a new ego. I don't know that you can see that one. An old ego and a new ego, wakening up. Coming into ourselves, transforming. So let's just get a little bit of the Thoth on there. Just to end. Oh, I'm so hot. What would you like to say as we end this little full moon reading? You gotta go with the flow. It's the death card. It's 13 frequency. We've got to embrace changes. We've got to embrace, this really is about rewiring your DNA. This is about the physical form. The divine masculine frequency of our molecules has to be adjusted. We have to change. We have to move forwards. And this moon's giving us the chance, but it's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. And there, my fly totem just arrived. I haven't seen you for a while, Fly. What do you want to say? Fly, what do you want to say? Fly wants to say, Queen of Cups. A change of emotions, a blossoming of emotions. There's something about this card, though, that's about past, present and future now, ever since a while ago. She sits looking at a distortion of her past, which is creating a blockage on her future, and that she is actually the point at which those two meet. She is the horizon line between the water and the air. It's interesting because in the reflection, her cup, her scalloped cup, her shell cup is more real than in the future. So the emotions are based on a knowledge of the past, but more like they're the knowledge of your warp and weft consciousness. The fabric on which you weave your entire life is the fabric of love. What you weave on it creates your own past imagery to look at and the tangles for the future. So, Fly, what do you want to end with about this moon? What's the last thing you want to say to everybody? It's, look, the rewards, the 10 of Cups. It's all about this wonderful resetting of emotions. It's tree of life frequency. They're showing me her as a tree of life. It's our personal Yggdrasil tree. Has to start to flow. And this is Mars in Pisces. Mars Mars is not getting to Pisces for quite a while, so there's got to be some kind of patience that we have to go with. We can't rush these things, but Mars is on a little rogue journey that we need to deal with, and we need to keep our own Mars frequency under control so that we don't burn others. Okay, we don't want to set off Mushbilhamir, because that's been going on here. This area was on fire a few days ago. It's been put out, but there is another fire that I can see in the distance. They'll probably get that out soon as well, but there is a sense of burning going on all over the world. Weather patterns are changing. Places are flooding as well, you know, and a lot of it's to do with the movement of the jet stream. The jet stream's being interrupted by the flow of magma from Iceland, and I feel that that's part of what's coming. More weather trauma as we head through until we get to the balance of Libra. It's a little bit like the more defiant our authoritarian leaders, in all ways, not just our political leaders, but very much our political leaders, the more defiant they are of the nature of the new energies coming in, the more problems they're actually causing. So it will be interesting to see what comes in the next 2 months, but for now, let's all mea culpa and face this full moon on the divine masculine, and we almost need to just squeeze back down that energy that's kind of, you know, slightly out of control, really, in all of us, men and women, and every shade in between. So anyway, that's full moon. Wassail Beautiful People. Can I just say, somehow I've got to get back from here, and I nearly threw up on the way. I am dreading getting back. Anyway, I'm sure I'll get there.